Wounded human soldier carries alien child through warzone. Mother demands life bond. Sergeant Alex Rourke's side was on fire. Every step sent a spike of pain through his ribs, where shrapnel had torn through his armor hours ago. Smoke still curled in the air around the shattered ruins of what had once been the alien city of Verith. He didn't have a luxury of stopping, not with a small, trembling figure in his arms. The child clung to him like a lifeline, tiny clawed fingers gripping the torn fabric of his combat vest. Wide golden eyes darted nervously to the flashes of light and distant rumble of artillery. She couldn't have been more than 6, though with the alien physiology, he wasn't entirely sure. Her skin was patterned like pale marble, and a small crest along her head twitched with every distant explosion. Alex hadn't planned on being here. His squad had been tasked with extracting civilians when the enemy breached the perimeter. In the chaos, the child had been separated from her mother. Alex had found her crouched beneath a half-collapsed archway, sobbing in a language he didn't understand, while enemy soldiers swept the streets. A burst of gunfire had decided the matter. He'd scoop her up and run. Now, hours later, he was deep in contested territory. Every turn felt like a gamble between safety and walking straight into an ambush. His comm unit had long since gone silent. The child made a soft chirping sound, her species equivalent of a whimper. Alex shifted her in his arms, trying to keep her head shielded with his hand. "We're almost there, kid," he lied, because she needed hope and he needed to believe it too. By the time he stumbled into the battered refugee camp on the outskirts of the war zone, his legs were barely holding him up. The camp was a mess of tents and hastily reinforced barricades, manned by both human and alien militia. The air smelled of smoke, ozone, and the faint metallic tang of blood. As soon as they crossed the first barricade, an alien woman came running. She was taller than Alex by a head, with more pronounced crest than the child and armor that had clearly seen battle. Her movements were fluid but desperate, and the moment her eyes fell on the girl, she let out a cry that was half shout, half music. The child wriggled free of Alex's grasp and sprinted toward her. Mother and daughter collided in an embrace that left both trembling. Alex stood there, breathing hard, watching relief wash over them. Then the mother turned her gaze on him. Her eyes, brilliant green with slitted pupils, locked onto his. She stepped forward, still holding her child close. "You carried her," she said in accented standard, her voice low and edged with something primal. Alex nodded wearily. She was alone. I couldn't just leave her. The alien woman's crest rippled, a gesture he didn't fully understand. She said something sharp in her native tongue to a nearby militia guard, who immediately stiffened. "What's going on?" Alex asked, his hand instinctively hovering near his rifle. "You have saved my blood," she said, her voice trembling now not with fear, but with a strange intensity. "Among the Verithi, such a deed demands a life bond." Alex blinked. "A life bond?" Her chin lifted, and there was no hesitation in her tone. "You are now bound to me. Our lives intertwined until death. Your enemies are my enemies. Your home is my home. You cannot refuse." He laughed once, short and disbelieving. "Lady, I think you got the wrong idea. I was just doing my job." She stepped closer, her towering presence blotting out the chaotic background of the camp. The child peeked from behind her leg, watching him with those wide golden eyes. "This is not a debt that can be repaid with thanks," the mother said. "You bled to protect her. You crossed the fire line while wounded. You carried her in your arms when others would have left her behind." Alex opened his mouth to argue, but stopped. The words wouldn't come. He'd been through enough campaigns to know the difference between an empty cultural formality and a sacred vow. To the Verithi, this wasn't negotiable. The militia around them had gone quiet, watching with unreadable expressions. He realized refusing might not just insult her, it might mark him as an enemy. His side throbbed again, and he staggered slightly. She caught him before he fell, her grip strong and steady despite the armor between them. "You will come," she said simply, as if stating the obvious. "You will heal. Then you will stand beside me as kin." Alex looked down at the child, who was still watching him. She gave the faintest smile, her crest fluttering softly. "Guess I don't have much choice," he muttered. Her expression softened for the first time. She placed a hand on his chest, not in threat, but in recognition. "No choice," she agreed. "Only bond." The medics arrived then, rushing him toward a tent where they could tend his wound. As they worked, he caught sight of her standing just outside, speaking rapidly to the other militia. Every so often, she glanced toward him, her gaze unwavering. Later, when the painkillers dulled the fire in his ribs, she returned. She sat beside him without asking permission, the child curled in her lap. "You will learn our words," she said, "our ways. You will be given armor that matches mine. When the war ends, you will come to Virith." Alex managed a tired smile. "And if I say no?" She tilted her head. "Then I will follow you until you say yes." Somehow he believed her. Outside, the war raged on. Inside the tent, a wounded human and a fierce alien mother sat in uneasy silence. Two lives already tangled by circumstance, and now bound by something neither of them had planned. And deep down, Alex suspected this was only the beginning.